Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Role Model Experts Cafe. I'm your host, Dr. L, the Parent Whisperer, and today with me, I have this wonderful, wonderful lady. I've had her on my summit. I've had a chance to talk to her a couple of times, and I love how she shows up in the world. Her message is powerful, and I wanted to bring her on stage, let you guys know about her. Her name is Miss Dia Irby. Correct? Did I say that right, Dia? Awesome. And I'm very happy to have her. Dia, tell us a little bit about yourself. Welcome to the show. I'm very happy to have you in this setting where all of our members get to see you and hear your message and what your passion is.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I am always looking forward to times that I can maybe make a difference. And my story, funny thing, this is about parenting. I want to talk about parenting. Never say never, if you've ever heard that, right? Never say never.
Right.
Well, my husband said from way back, he would never get married. Okay, well, you know that how that turned out. And he would never have kids. Well, that didn't turn out that way either. So because when we met, that's where he was thinking. But then, some things changed. He met some different kind of people. He said he'd never met real people that believed in God the way, I did, my family did. And before I know it, he's got a whole worldview change. The next summer, we get married. 6 months later, I get pregnant, and the fun never stopped for 3 decades. Every time we thought we were done and we were moving, I'd get rid of all the baby equipment. And guess what? Oh, I'm pregnant again. And then we'd move and I'd get rid of the baby equipment. Oh, guess what? I'm pregnant again. So that went on for 3 decades, blessing us with 8 children.
Awesome. Congratulations to you and the family.
Thank you.
That's great that you also survived it. So you are definitely the embodiment of parent.
Yes. Well, if you think about the statistics, I was pregnant 72 months.
Wow.
And I nursed around 60 something months. And I had a teenager in the house for 30 years.
Wow. And you had time to calculate all of this out? That's
That's right. I one time I did count up how many diapers we used, but I wish, like 40 whatever years ago, I had bought stock in disposable diapers. I would have racked. But yes, our youngest one this last year was a senior in college, and our oldest grandchild was a freshman in college.
Wow.
And when our daughter graduated, we became official empty nesters.
Mm-hmm.
It just took us 45 years to get there.
So how did it feel? Because I know that you have a message and the word is there, claim, right? So when you became an empty nester, we're going to get to claim in just a second. But when you became an empty nester, who claimed you?
Well, see, you need to claim yourself. Right. And as a parent with a spouse now since last Friday, 47 years, you have to maintain, no matter how busy and harried you are with how many little ankle biters or rats, whatever people call them, sweet blessings that you have running around. You always need to maintain your relationship with your partner and your co-parent, and you have to take care of yourself. And I am claimed. I came up with this acrostic because it just incorporates everything. I am claimed. I feel like it is an explanation of what I believe is the truth of the Bible. I am chosen by God and loved by God and acknowledged. And he invested in me by sending Jesus, and he has created me, myself, to be made for greatness. He has a purpose for me to be here. Part of it was raising 8 children that have gone out into the world. They have lived on 6 continents. They are impacting the world. So I am, and I've claimed to myself, I'm me.
Okay.
And then I have that same, I want my husband to know I still choose to be in a relationship with him. I still choose to be committed to him. I love him. I acknowledge his needs. I invest in him and what he needs. And I encourage him in what he's made for greatness. So
Awesome.
I have that. And then it's when you parent, you use the same 5 pillars of powerful parenting. Does that make sense?
That does, and actually is very powerful. And I hope that the audience members actually heard what you were talking about, because so let's go back. Let's clarify for the audience members. What is claim and why is it important to be claimed?
In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have your physiological needs. You need food, clothing, shelter. And then the third one is you need to belong. People don't just want to be connected. Everybody wants to feel like they belong.
Right.
I mean, that's the source of street gangs. It may be wrong, but at least they belong. That's the reason people are motivated to do really odd things, or all these challenges that people are injured from, that they get from the internet. Why are they doing that? That doesn't make any sense. It's because they have a deep desire to belong. Mm-hmm. And if you take that and answer it with the right thing, by claiming them to belong, that in a sea of humanity, belonging is a shore of security, love, and identity. And claim is an acrostic I came up with, because you're claiming your people. You're saying you belong. And it also, each letter stands for the words that explain exactly what I mean by being claimed. No, it's not an insurance report. Are you into insurance? No. I will ensure that following this strategy will be good for your life.
Absolutely. So what are the consequences if you don't belong, if you don't claim? What have you seen people struggle with when this issue is not addressed?
Let me tell you a story about an Eastern European orphanage. There was a crib full of babies, and the workers noticed that the baby in the crib by the door was growing better and developing better than all the other babies. Now, all of them received the same shelter and clothing and food, but they began calling that door the magic door, because the baby by that door was just outshining everyone else. And they couldn't figure it out. So they decided, is it the crib, or did this particular baby just happen to have something about it? And they moved the baby, switched out and put a different baby there. And over the weeks, they watched it. Do you know what happened?
What happened?
Same thing. That baby began to grow and develop better than all the other babies in the room. And they're like, what's going on? They put a camera on the crib to watch, a video camera, to see what are they missing. Because this baby, whatever baby's in the crib by the magic crib by the door, is just developing better. And that's when they discovered the answer. Every night when the cleaning lady would come in to mop, she stopped at the crib by the door, and she would pick up the baby and sing to the baby and love the baby for about 15 minutes every night, and then put the baby back down. That sense of belonging physically changed the baby.
Right.
That is what happens. And if somebody doesn't feel like they belong, then emotionally, they're going to be stunted. They're not going to develop. They're not going to grow. Psychologically, they're going to be stunted and they're not going to grow.
So you pointed to something that at Role Model Maker, we really believe in, make it our mission to talk about optimizing humanity's potential by optimizing a person's potential, right? So in doing that, one of the concerns is that in this world that is more connected than ever before, we are disconnected. And you mentioned earlier that belonging and connection are two different things. So how can people figure out ways to belong or take measures to belong? What are some of the challenges that you see as roadblocks when people realize that this is a problem and they want to do something about it?
It's easier to address the situation or the challenge if you're the person willing to step out and claim someone.
I see.
A person that doesn't feel like they belong likely doesn't know what it is that they're missing and doesn't know how to reach out for it, which is why as parents, if you watch your children, be careful with that one that seems to never have any problems. Maybe they just have a quiet voice that they're not speaking up and saying, I feel left out, or did you overlook me? Because it's true, and I know this, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Right. Right.
One of our sons told us, now that he's grown and has 3 little children of his own, he said, yeah, I used to do something to get in trouble just so Dad would take me out and for a meal and talk to me. So, there's that. So I think the biggest thing, there are 2 things that a parent can do that works across any personal relationship. The A in claim for acknowledged is making eye contact. There's so much, it's true, the eye is the window to the soul. And someone feels like they're seen if you're looking them in the eye, right. Especially children. You want to get down on the floor on their level and look them right in the eye. And if they're 2 or 3 and you're not, they'll grab you and say, look at me, and want you to look in their eyes. The I is for investing. And a lot of times, yes, parents are busy. A lot of people are double income. They have to go out and they need to all work. Right. And the investment that counts the most for children, I say that they spell love, T-I-M-E. And you don't spend time with your children, you invest time in your children.
Absolutely.
So when you are investing in your child with time, they feel claimed. Right. When you're acknowledging their existence, they feel claimed. And those are just really simple. Be conscious of that. When your child is playing a video game and you want to talk to them, make them put it down and look you in the eye. They really want to be connected.
Right.
Does that answer?
It does, and it was wonderful. So A is for acknowledgement. Really quickly, tell us what the acronyms for claim are.
Okay, C is for chosen. And when you're talking to your spouse, of course, you did choose them. When you talk to your children, unless you adopted them, and then you are clear to go. I chose you. We decided to choose you. But, and even if you have like your 8th child 8 years after the last one, you still want them to know you are glad they're in your family. So chosen, people want to know they're wanted, like getting picked first for a team. And so that's the C is for chosen.
Got it.
The L is for loved. And any relationship, as a parent with your children, as a spouse, or in employees, coworkers, L for love is unconditional, which means, I love you today, child, because you didn't draw on the wall with crayons. Or I don't love you today because you put my expensive, I don't know, pair of shoes in the washer. Kids, or don't let them leave bubble gum on their plate and then put it in the dishwasher because it disintegrates into these little bitty pieces that gets on everything, and it's very hard to get out.
Sounds like experience.
As if that ever happened. Or don't let them play Kung Fu, whoever, Panda, and kick a hole in the side of the fiberglass bathtub, but you still love them.
Right.
And it's unconditional. You may not like them sometimes.
Right.
And let's just be real. And they are going to yell at you maybe sometimes and say, I hate you. And well, that's okay. I still love you.
Right.
My love for you doesn't depend on whether you love me or act the way I want you to.
Got it.
That's the L.
A is for acknowledged. So we got that. I, what's I for?
Investing. And you can invest with time. You can invest with money. You can invest with equipment. Invest. The biggest thing is investing your interest in them. I mean, listening.
Right.
Giving them time to listen. Ask them, what are their dreams? And in a relationship, if you really want to deepen a relationship, a friendship, you need to stop and invest time in them. Right. Go out to coffee and just talk to your friend.
My wife and I once created a questionnaire, and one of the questions was, how do you know when you're loved? And gave it to both of our kids. And my son at the time was like 7 or 8, said, when Papa tickles me. So now I know that I need to invest time into tickling him every single day so he feels loved, basically. And it's a good experience. That's
great. Yeah, I'm reworking my straight arrows, parent study and parenting. And I created a pop quiz for parents to see how well you know your children, and a question for you to ask your kids, like, what's your favorite room in the house and why? How well do you know? There's a verse in the Bible that says, know well the condition of your flock. And that is investing the time to get to know your children, their likes, their dislikes. And you're preparing them to be their full potential, and you're watching for that.
Right. Absolutely. All right. Last but not least, what's M for?
The M is made for greatness. And I mean, that doesn't mean you have to be on the front cover of a, magazine or written up in a history book. It means you are able to make a difference in the world. Everyone wants to know, basically, that and here's another M word, so I may change it, matter.
Right.
Like, if they're not in the world is missing a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
And everybody matters. And I feel like our job, there's a verse in the Bible that says, for we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand for us to walk in them. So we've been created. It's like the manufacturer put together this creation with all the gifts, talents, and abilities that are latent. They're there, but the parent's job is to help bring those to the surface, help develop those, and encourage those so that they can fulfill the work that they're on the earth to do. And if you're doing that, then you matter. You are making a difference, and you are fulfilling your greatness that you're made for.
I'm loving this. This is beautiful stuff, powerful stuff. Some of it could be subtle and small, and you can do it every single day. And it's not something that you have to plan for. That's the amazing part. But the outcome of it, the synergistic outcome of putting it all together and watching how it comes together and makes this huge change in a person and the potential is just foundational. So awesome stuff, Dia. Tell us a little bit more about your company, how people can find you and work with you, and some of the details on how you reach out to the community and you matter.
Yes, I can be found on my website, which is really complicated, diairby.com. And you can reach out to me, email dia@diairby.com. I do have a couple of books on Amazon. I've got a devotional journal. I know what it's like to only have that long to stop and think. So that's what it is. It's a Bible verse, maybe a story or my thoughts about it, and some questions for you to ponder the truth of the day, and then write your own notes in the two lined pages that I left for you. And you can go through it, every year and see how different you see things.
The evolution and the process of
right. So, I wrote this last time. That was no big deal. Now I'm really dealing. Or, oh, wow, I don't have that problem anymore. This is exciting. So, I made it where you've got 2 whole pages. I had one beta reader before I got it published say, I'll read it, because I did a second one for just women, not just for young mothers. And she says, I'll read it, but I don't really journal. And she said, I wrote 2 pages. And so that was good. Because you want to have an opportunity to say what you're feeling and then look at it and think about it. So I have that. I would love to do workshops with groups of parents. And how can you put together your 5 pillars of powerful parenting? And I can also, as soon as I finish reworking Straight Arrows, which talks about the mission of a parent. I don't know. You work with parents. Have you ever heard anybody say, well, if I can just keep them out of jail, off drugs, and not pregnant before they're out of high school, I've done my job?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that that's not all they mean, but yes, it's commonly said and heard. So
that's
yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's you can have, what is your mission statement as a parent, and how does it work in your family, and how do you know you've done your job? So, working through that and helping parents answer some questions like you did about doing the questionnaire for your kids, when do you feel loved?
Yeah.
So
it's amazing that they have, planning for finances, planning for career, planning for all these things, but then where's the planning for parenting? And I don't mean the checklist of what things to buy as before the baby arrives or what color to paint the nursery, but real planning. And how do you know when you have achieved your objective when it comes to parenting, your mission, like you said? So really, really powerful. And then the other thing is, I wanted to encourage all of our audience members to take you up on joining the communities, because as you said, belonging is important. Having the support and accountability, being part of a group like that is essential for feeling like you belong and knowing that there's answers for you out there, there's support for you out there. So definitely, guys, make sure that you take the up on the offer, check the information that's in the description box below. And Dia, any final words before we finish this?
I do have on my website, on the complimentary resources, created some ebooks, tips for building community in your home. And it goes through claim, how to actually, some steps to take to make application of that. And there's also in your marriage, in your business, in your church, Because, I mean, it works wherever there are people. That's pretty much everywhere.
Right.
But yeah, that's it. And just remember, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Let's make a difference, parents, and change the world. We're molding the future.
Yeah, parents, you guys have the opportunity and the potential to change civilization within one generation. So congratulations to you guys. Thank you for joining us. Dia, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us and share your wisdom. Guys, make sure that you go ahead and check the information in the description box. And if you haven't already done so, click subscribe on the channel so you see all the experts that come in here and get notified by them as well. We look forward to seeing you on future episodes. Take care. Cheers.
Thank you.